Another waking session, another strife and another life, and they blame it on depression. Another wife is the wrong or right, and they claim me under pressure. Another tripe and a suicide, we apply the same methods. It's like we'll never learn a lesson. We try to lie to make it better. Then everybody scrambling now, trying to figure out what to stress him. Why didn't he or she reach out where the world wasn't helping? Why couldn't he find just a peace of mind, let the world get the best of him? They call it mental health in this. It's so weird when it comes to depression and suicide. These self-help sort of gurus try to apply the same method with a one-size-fits-all, and it never works. What the hell is this? Another fool shot up a school and we know the cat was sick. And all these dudes wanna blame the tool, that's stupid as it gets. Another crew on the teletube blaming gun ownership. You can miss me with that miss, cause I ain't never shot a man. And the only time I would lay him down, he aggressing on my fam. And you like to make it much harder for me to protect all my land. Crying crocodile tears so you can just feel good at grandstand. Bro, you stupid in a trance. No matter how much you get to sobbing on TV, every single gun law is an infringement. Period. Look, I ain't just saying this just to say this. The state is a criminal, crooked organization. So you look like a buffoon thinking that you can save this. Looking to Big Daddy government every time dismay hits. These fools done killed 250 million men and women and children, all due to their ill sins over the last century. So why would I fiddle with them? This crap is not meant for me. Let that power get reeled in. They act like I can't govern myself, so they keep running for help, begging the state to monitor wealth. And you'll get thrown in a cell, deviate, they throw you in jail. Maybe you the one that's crazy with that bad mental health. So I think you really should back up. Man can't govern himself but can rule over everyone else. That don't even add up. And every time I'm bringing this up to you, you get mad, huh? But that's the reason I remain fearless and pick this pad up. This ain't a gimmick, this ain't a joke. State and agents of it is really out there ruining people's lives, and that's the source of a lot of people's problems.
Back when they were young, they had a fraction of a crumb, about as ratchet as it comes. Sleeping on that mattress out the bunk, mama would ration out the funds, make it last throughout the month. We always dreamt the cash would come, but we was bastards from the jump. My best friend's dad wasn't around, mine was too drunk to count. Step pop would scream, cuss and shout, cock back and bust me in the mouth. That guy was tripping off clout, getting high while sipping that stout. That fool was all crystalled out, that night he pulled the pistol out. He mixed his strife with the dope, he brought that peril to the home. He put that knife to her throat, he put that barrel to my dome. If you ain't took a step in, you'd expect a better home. But if you looked at our skin, well shit, I guess you never know. White privilege. Black boy from Section 8, young age had to stretch it on a plate. He would get afraid and he would sit and pray on the days he never ate. He sees this violent crime that's by design and is molded by the state. And these suburban whites use the urban plight that they voted to create. But that's the gang, 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 and it's ingrained, grain. We don't look the same, but that's my gang, gang, gang. Y'all ain't no saviors, folk. That place where rays ain't show, because those blades can't grow underneath the shade they throw. They flood the ghettos with crack, they fill the trailers with ox. Label us killers or racists and turn our neighbors to ops. Pin the plebs in the middle while they just stage it and watch. Then they sit back and giggle while they trading they stocks. That's privilege. My loyalty is royalty, it's more to me. I'll only make minorities priority to leverage your authority. Your actions are vital while you be scripting this woke shit. Y'all put a flag in your bio but won't do shit for the homeless. Society ladies hopeless. If we prescribed it as whole shit, y'all overdose on emotion. The propaganda too potent. Y'all drop your pants and start dancing for the distractions they throwing. Trying to conquer, dividing. Y'all are supplying the quotient. They flood the ghettos with crack. Fill the trailers with ox. Label us killers or racists and turn our neighbors to ops. Then they lie and corrupt. Say that the wreckage gon' stop. And y'all just keep lining up and checking the box. Who's privileged?
Another event happened. They happening real frequently, ain't they? Cannon Speaks. Coming up next.
No threat to our Hotep, especially when the Hotep got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they planning. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. No threat to our Hotep, especially when the Hotep got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they planning. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
What up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Cannon Hotep back at it again. Hope you guys having a wonderful day. As you can see, I'm joined by my man, Jay Pylon. And given the situation that's happening in Oklahoma, my man is live in Oklahoma, I figured it wouldn't, it would be only right to have him on to discuss this. Maybe he can shed some light on some things that maybe we're not hearing in the national news. So if you haven't heard, another event happened, this time at an Oklahoma hospital. What's the name of the hospital, Jay?
Memorial
Hospital, Oklahoma. So Memorial Hospital, Oklahoma, guy opened fire, killed 4 people, 5 people if you include his cowardly ass. Police were on the scene pretty fast from what I heard, but nonetheless 4 people were killed, and the shooter killed himself. Don't know the name of the shooter. I don't really care. But these things are happening more and more frequently, Jay. It's got my kufi on tight, bro.
I hear that, man. R.I.P. and respects to the family and the victims out there that suffering this tragedies left and right. And I wouldn't ever put anything past anything being glowy to sit there and say that this was, that anybody's an actor or anything absurd like that in these situations.
Right.
But yeah, R.I.P. to these people, rest in paradise, and it's unfortunate, and we're seeing it a lot. And I know that this newest event took place, and just a few days ago during the Memorial Day celebration earlier this week, there was a shooting at the Memorial Day Festival in Taft, Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
That left 1 person dead and 7 injured, including, I believe it was a 9-year-old.
Okay.
And both shooters in both of these incidences were black. And I'm thinking that that's because of the political narrative, because the midterms coming up, I'm not sure that they're going to politicize these events as much. They might be swept under the rug, as where we have the Buffalo and the other incidents, including the Asian on the church incident, more highlighted, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, so like you're saying, I mean, it's really interesting, right? And I noticed that immediately. So, you always want to wait to hear more information. I know information is coming out now. However, you know, we had people on social media again before they found out, you know what I mean, is a white guy. You know, you start to see the differences, right? So I was on the Spaces last night with crypto lawyer and Michael Dean, right? Bunch of people in there. Matter of fact, I'll be on their podcast on the 17th, right?
Oh, good.
So so we were talking about that, and somebody asked a question, and they said, so do you think there is I guess basically a concerted effort on how the news reports on, you know, black shooters versus, you know, white shooters, or how they report on like Chicago versus these mass shootings, right? And I said, yeah, of course, you know,
Yes,
it doesn't fit the narrative, you know,
absolutely.
it doesn't fit the narrative.
Whatever fits the narrative, that's what they roll with. They roll with the agenda every time.
Right.
And it's highlighting there's a tragedy going on, and that the lives that are lost, that's what's important. But they're fixated on race, and they're fixated on whatever the current narrative is. So if it's Asian lives matter, if it's Black lives matter, but rarely do we see a fixation on how do we go forward helping families? How do we go forward securing, you know, bringing in security into the focus?
Right. Right. And I agree with you there. See, for example, right, we can only look back a couple months to the Sacramento shooting. Remember that?
Yeah.
Right.
Facts.
Everybody was up in arms until they found out it was some black dudes doing some nigga shit. They was out there gang violence. They had the Glocks with the sticks in them. Got the switches on them. That story went away immediately.
Yeah. And you have the social media race hustlers.
Right.
They're instantly, the only thing that they're concerned with is not who the victim is.
No.
Not the lives.
No.
But what race is the killer?
Bingo. What race is the killer?
And when it doesn't fit a narrative, they drop it. That's a hot potato they're not willing to hold on to. They drop it instantly.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, for example, Waukesha, Wisconsin, this guy mowed over a bunch of people with a fucking Ford Escape. You know what I mean? How fast did that story disappear? You know what I mean? That story disappeared within a matter of hours.
And did a certain so-called president go there? Did a certain visit? Did he lay some flowers?
No, of course not. Of course not. You know, elderly children got mowed down.
Any narrative.
You know what I mean? What else? The subway, the Brooklyn subway. How fast did that disappear?
Right, and currently the media is not even mentioning that. Look, it's saying Buffalo. It's saying the church situation.
Right.
It's including the situations. It's including the school.
Exactly.
Right. The subway, the car mowing down incident, all that's out.
Yeah, it's because it doesn't fit a narrative.
This is gonna be out too, and it's shameful.
It's going to be out. This shit disappeared faster than Jimmy Hoffa.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And nobody's looking for it, right?
Ain't nobody looking for it out here. Like, I was looking on like everything 16 hours ago, 12 hours ago. You know what I mean? And I had to search just to find something like that was even within a couple of hours talking about, you know, if there's an investigation. So for those of you who don't know, the guy was a black guy. This is the funny part, right? So what they did with the white dude, they say, oh, he had an AR-15, right? If you read the articles here, they just say he had a long gun.
It said it was similar, right?
Yeah, semi-automatic long gun and a semi-automatic pistol. That's all they say. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't fit the narrative. They just want this to be swept under the rug. You know what I mean? And it had like I said, everything I was looking for 12 hours ago, 16 hours ago, 22 hours ago. You know what I mean? So like we're gonna get to this. Where did I get this from? CBS News. It says investigation underway after 4 people killed in Tulsa, Oklahoma hospital shooting. So let me go ahead and get you over here real quick. All right, and you should be able to see it now, right?
Coming up. Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna fade y'all guys over. Shit. Hold on. There we go. All right.
So for more analysis on this and the recent string of shootings, CBS News security and law enforcement analyst James Gagliano is standing by. He's also retired FBI agent. James, I'm glad you are here. You know, it's really unfortunate that we're talking about this again. I never thought I'd use the words, you know, massacre just last week, as if, you know, a massacre should be sort of a one-off thing once in a while. Now we're looking at something happening weekly almost at this point. Let us talk about the most recent case in Tulsa, though. Let's look at the investigation. What will the FBI be doing? What will ATF be doing?
Well, Emery, it looks like the response attached to this was much better than what we experienced in Uvalde, Texas, where there was a 77-minute gap between the first 911 call and when police actually breached the room and took out the shooter. In this instance, it appeared that police did exactly what they're trained to do. In the post-Columbine world, which happened in 1999, you think 23 years ago, we are trained to go to the sound of the guns. So the number one thing is to confront and interdict the shooter and stop the indiscriminate killing. Then you settle down and you start looking for broader pieces of this. Was there a conspiracy? Did anyone provide inspiration or material support or any type of assistance in this? And that's what police are working on now. They'll be scrubbing social media. The unfortunate part of this is when the shooter takes their own life, when the takes the coward's way out, you cannot interview them. So this is all going to be done through old school detective work, knocking on doors and using the digital exhaust that we give off in the 21st century to try to get to motive here.
Yeah, I think I heard it.
Now, how much you want to bet he's going to be a lone shooter, right? Lone gunman, right? That's all we get. Right. Lone gunman. They'll find nothing. They're not. I don't think they're going to find a manifesto in this situation. It'd already been out by now, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. They're not going to find anything. You know, I don't. They'll probably end up saying it was something like
I was saying before. No, go ahead.
Yeah, so they'll probably try to say, "Oh, it was a crime of passion or some shit like that." Who knows? You know what I mean?
Well, so I've got the story so far on this alleged story is that allegedly he was upset specifically at his doctor because this is an orthopedic place that he was going to, and in Oklahoma, and so his back was out a lot, and he had to go have back surgery, allegedly. And this is what's coming out so far, and that when he went to go get his back surgery, he said he constantly complained about pain, and he said that it didn't go right, and then his back was hurting him prior, but that it was hurting even more so after he went and got the surgery done, and he didn't feel like his doctor was doing enough, or that his doctor had possibly messed up. And so he was specifically targeting that office, those nurses, and that doctor. Jeez. To get them out the picture for what he felt like was undue pain or unjust pain that he was suffering, and that's what transpired allegedly.
All right, let's see what they keep saying here.
One officer said that police were there within 4 minutes, and I did think to myself, with this recent string of shootings, was this person inspired or emboldened by some of the stuff that he's seen in the news? Because they're all sort of similar in that they are soft targets. Can we talk about the challenge of hardening? I mean, let's say harden the schools, but hardening these soft targets, schools, a shopping, a supermarket, hospitals. These are locations that are meant to people are meant to have easy access to come in and out and to feel safe there.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing that we're having to have this conversation right now. We live in the greatest country in the world. We live in a place where we cherish our civil liberties, our privacy protections. We want to be able to come and go as we please. We don't want to exist in a police state. But somehow, as we go forward now in the 21st century, and as these things
y'all want to see a police state, let them enforce these this fucking 9mm ban. Let them enforce this handgun ban. Let them enforce this quote unquote assault rifle ban. Y'all want to live in police state? Right. That's what comes shortly after that. Thanks. When they collect the guns, that's when the police state comes.
Oklahoma, and they're forgetting about Tim McVeigh.
What?
We're in Oklahoma, and there's no mention of Tim McVeigh. Where the focus at?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Pointed out, proliferate. And look, the Gun Violence Archive, the database that I believe you that you noted, they've determined that there have been 233 of these in the first 152 days of this year. That is insanity. Now, we describe mass shootings.
You ever find out how convenient it is when they tout that number, but it's never reported on? It's only reported on when the high profile shit happened.
Right, and what they're including, what they're including is your neighborhood, Baltimore, right?
Right.
They're including like so
Right.
what they do. This differs. A mass killer differs from a mass shooter. A mass shooter could be two gangs having it out
Right.
with each other. A mass shooter could be a man took out his whole family.
Right.
That's what they include in this list. The actual mass killer numbers are always lower. Last year, there was 88 people killed by mass killers. There were 15 mass killers, 5 of whom were white. 6 of whom were white, 5 of whom were black, 4 were Latino, and 1 or 2 was Asian. But they have to skew the numbers, just like they have to skew the police killings of citizens per year, which we're coming up on 1,200. We're coming up on 1,200 murders of citizens via the police.
That's facts. That's facts. My man Cassius Campbell, my first super chat ever.
Oh, congratulations.
Appreciate you. Get the Don DeMarco for that one.
Appreciate you, Cassius Cam.
Cassius says, white people actually underrepresented in mass shootings. These goofies like to focus on per capita until it's this topic. U.S. is 65th in shootings. That is true. That's true.
Yeah, Cassius is correct, because if you're doing like I just said, if you're doing the mass shootings, then you got Baltimore, you got Chicago, you got all these other spots, and the shooters are going to be predominantly black in those spots.
That's
right.
right.
But if you do the mass killings, then you see that it's diversity. It's diversity across the board.
Right.
So either narrative doesn't fit their official narrative, so they have to skew everything, do percentages, and keep us off topic. Keep us on some other nonsense, some goofy stuff.
Exactly. So before I continue, just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. We got my man Freak Mac in the building. What's the deal, Freak Mac? We got Jimmy Doss Hotep in the building. What's going on, bro?
Welcome in, Jimmy Doss.
We got my man Cassius Cam. We got Kauai89. What's up? What's up? We got Dia Blaze in the building. What's going on? Cuz Queen D, what's going on? Nice to see you. We got Sauce the Prophet in the building. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? We got William Overton. What's the deal, Will? Ahmad. What's up, Ahmad? Who else we got in here today? We got Art Dog in the building. What's going on, Art? Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate it. We got Super Carlo. Always good to see you, Super Carlo. We got Shooter 305. Yeah, it's false flag season, bro. False flag season. You definitely ain't lying about that. You know, we got Luger Storm. What's the deal? What's the deal? He says, did you see the victim had 2 different dads? That's interesting. Need to look at that one. Morgan W, what's going on? Morgan W, good to see you. Good to see you. We got Renee Vogel in the building. What's going on, Renee? Raider Nation. Oh shit! With my second super chat, I appreciate you, big brother. He says, whatever happened to writing a really nasty letter?
Man.
That's right, yo. Whatever happened to writing a stern letter? You know what I mean? You know, hey, malpractice. Take him to fucking court. You know, Jesus.
He could have probably come off for
a couple dollars.
coin.
Yeah, call Peter T. Nickel. Remember that? You know, somebody. I don't know who y'all got in Oklahoma.
Oh, because he was. You know, he could have called Crump.
There you go. You could call Crump. Yeah, exactly. Turn this into a race thing. You know, shit.
Right.
Golly.
They did this to me on purpose.
Right. Right. Got Marsh Next Manhunter in the building. What's the deal, bro? What's the deal? What's going on, Stacy? Welcome. Seeing you in a minute. We got James S in the building. What's the deal? What's the deal? So, another thing that came up, or that I was thinking about today, right? Like I said, these things are happening so frequently, right? It made me wonder, and that's why I put that poll in. So if you guys, you know, in the chat, go ahead and answer that poll. You know, this shit glows to me. Like it seems too much perfect timing. This is election season, right? We coming up on election. Like what's it, June now? They're ruling on the They're ruling on New York versus Bruin, right? This month.
Right.
I don't know what day, but it's coming up soon, right? You also have midterms coming up. You know, a lot of Democratic seats are on the fucking line because a lot of people are not happy about the Democrats right now, right? And what better way to try to turn the tide like they do every election year than to have some tragedy that they can blame on the other side for failing to want to do something about it. Start tugging on them heartstrings.
Never let a crisis go to waste. Rahm Emanuel, right?
Rahm Emanuel, never let a crisis go to waste. You know what I mean? This is tragic. You know, it goes without saying. This is tragic. Like what's happening? What happened in Texas? What happened in Brooklyn? What happened in Buffalo? What happened here? You know, and I hate to say it, whatever's gonna happen fucking next week. I feel like this shit is like they in overdrive right now. Treadstone is working overtime right now. I feel. You feel me? And it's like, what the hell is going to happen next? But the thing about it is, there are no real solutions happening, right? But this shit is interesting. It glows in the dark to me, bro. Like it feel like you can't help to think that this shit is orchestrated. You know, either that or they fucking pumping the air or the water with some shit. You know what I mean? Got people going crazy out here in these streets.
Right.
You know.
And you know what? Another thing is, it's also could be the narrative is the perception. Is this happening with frequency, or did they just ignore it in the past?
Exactly.
Did they just highlight certain things, or do they need to pump this up? You know, because in the past there's been other mass events that have took place where they didn't fit any certain narrative, so they were underplayed or didn't get any kind of highlight at all. It's sort of like a pick and choose, right?
Yeah.
So we could see that the powers that be can orchestrate things in order to divert our attention or to make our perception some sort of way.
Yeah, I agree. Jimmy Doss Hotep with my third super chat. I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you.
Good to see you, Jimmy Doss.
Again, they still aren't actually hardened places that need to be protected. They can protect kids, citizens, etc. with CCW offering free training, supporting programs like Maj offers, but they really just want us disarmed. That is facts.
Shout out to Maj Tory.
Yeah, shout out to Maj out there doing the Lord's work, man. I know after Buffalo, he went straight up to Buffalo and he started giving free classes. You know,
God bless.
God bless him. You know. Hey, do you know that's what you do? April, if you want to send me any like personal questions, stuff like that, you can DM me on Twitter, or, and this goes for everybody, canonhotep@gmail.com. That is canonhotep@gmail.com if you have any personal questions or you want me to come on your podcast or whatever. Twitter, or you can canonhotep@gmail.com. I'll start putting that in my description. For some reason I don't do that, but I'll make sure I write up a whole situation and then I'll post it every time I stream. But yeah, so that's the thing, right? They want these so they can have political leverage, right? Political equity. They're not interested, like Jimmy said. They're not interested in protecting the kids. They're not interested in securing those hospitals. The only hospital that I know in Maryland that has like armed officers is fucking University of Maryland. They have their own police department here.
Wow.
Like they have real police rights. Like they got cars and everything. Like they can lock you up, give you speeding tickets, all that shit. Right? Johns Hopkins, no. They just got a bunch of people sitting in booths with no guns. Johns Hopkins tried to get a police force off the ground, but that didn't happen. I'm not sure why the city rejected it or the state rejected it, but it didn't happen, right? And Johns Hopkins is in a dangerous fucking neighborhood, you know, in Baltimore. However, that's another interesting thing. When you see, like, we hear about these crazy major mass shootings like this type of caliber where somebody actually intentionally walks into a building and just want to indiscriminately shoot people, right? You don't really hear about that in like when the last time you heard like a mass shooting of this caliber in like Chicago? I know Chicago had their gang violence and their crime, right? But you never hear, oh, Chicago, somebody walked into a fucking Foot Locker and just started shooting everybody, and you know what I mean? Or you don't hear that. you only hear that in these places where it's like you would never thought that shit might happen. You know what I mean? And I don't, and it's interesting that you never see it, but it also makes you think like, is this shit all by design? You know what I mean? So for example, right, with Buffalo, right? It's a Buffalo. They went to the to a place where it's a gun-free zone. The entire state is, right, for the most part. Like it's the gun control is ridiculous, right? So you have something like that, and then you have like Texas, where they go to a place where they can't go to a grocery store, right? They can't go to a grocery store and just start shooting because somebody in that grocery store strapped in Texas, right?
Yeah, same is true in Oklahoma.
Right.
You saw how fast the cops were there on the scene, and I guarantee you there was people nearby concealed carry, because anytime you go to a store here in Oklahoma, it's diverse.
Right.
I know. Forget what y'all have heard. Forget what you have heard. Oklahoma has a lot of diversity. You see that the two shooters in both of our events, the Taft shooting, the Memorial shooting, were both black. And there is a lot of people out here that can still carry. There's a lot of gun ranges. There's a lot of archery ranges here.
Yeah.
It's big. Hunting is big. So you don't hear of these type of events too often in Oklahoma, because you might try to run up, get done up quick out here trying to mess around, trying to play around. And the police definitely don't try to play those games. They're armed, and they're armed up and suited up and booted up, ready to go.
Right. And I mean, like I was saying to that point, like let's look at the shit that happened in Vegas. Same thing in Vegas. I carried my gun in Vegas, right? Pretty much everywhere I went, except for like on the Strip, I carried my gun, right? So let's look at what happened in Vegas. They had to attack a place that they couldn't carry in, an event that they couldn't carry in. And like I said, go back to like Buffalo, they had to go to, they went to a public place where in any other 2A state, you walk into one of those places, you might get gunned down, like you just said, by a citizen. You know what I mean? And like I was telling somebody before, where it was like, even here and it's sad to say, like, you never hear about a mass shooting in like a school in Chicago. You might hear about a shooting happening, some gang shit, and I'm not discounting gang violence, because the shit is horrible and we need to get a handle on it, period. And the best way to get a handle on it is making sure that citizens can protect themselves, making sure citizens can arm themselves, make their own citizens on patrol or something like that, because the police ain't getting there in time. You know what I mean? But back to my point where I was saying that, like, shit, like, it's a school here called Dunbar, right? We got a couple schools, Dunbar, Edmondson. These schools are like, they're in the hood. And a lot of them kids, and I've seen it driving past, some of them kids will go hide their gun before they go in the school.
Right.
So could you imagine somebody trying to run up in the school, trying to shoot up the school indiscriminately, just trying to kill as many people as possible? They might get put down by one of the fucking kids. You know what I mean? Same thing, like, somebody walk down, somebody just, you're not going to hear about a mass shooting in a grocery store here in Baltimore. Matter of fact, we had one in Salisbury, Maryland, where somebody tried to run into I want to say he tried to run into a school in Salisbury, Maryland, right? Put down within seconds by the resource officer. Within seconds. I think he got one shot, and that resource officer put him down, But the thing about it is that we got to protect our kids. And what she was saying in this, in the news story, or the story, she's like, talking about hardening the schools. Yeah, you got to. You know what I mean? Some people don't like the optics of it, right? Why you got to have police? I had police. I had 3 officers at my school every day. Them kids that I said hide their guns at that school, they got metal detectors. They got to wear clear book bags. They got 2 or 3 officers there just because of the gang violence in Baltimore. You understand?
Right.
So what's the problem in implementing some of those steps that's been working, despite some of the violent gun crime here in Baltimore has been working for our schools in some of these rural schools, some of these other states? Why not have school resource officers? 2 or 3 officers on duty. You don't want the teachers to be armed. I mean, personally, I think the teachers should be armed. I think the teachers should have the option to carry
Option,
if they
right.
want to. You know, if you want to
'cause
make them jump.
That's the news's argument right now, right?
Right.
The news, I mean, the media
Right.
is arguing that the teachers don't want to be armed. Well, the ones that do, what about them?
And they're
the
not-
ones that can.
Yeah, they're answering for the teachers. If they, I guarantee, if they took a consensus, there'd be a bunch of teachers that say, yeah. I guarantee at least one school, at least one teacher in every school in America would be like, yeah, I'll do it.
Right.
You know. Now, if you want to make these teachers jump through hoops, go through certain things to do this, like I said before, a 12-week fucking summer program or however long fucking summer is for the kids, what is it, 9 to 12 weeks, something like that. They give up their summer. They got to do that. They gotta renew every year or something like that. You know,
Right.
they got
Compensated for doing it.
Yeah.
Compensated for the time.
compensated for their time. You know, every, I don't know, they're required to go to the range every 30 days or something like that. You know what I mean? You know,
Common sense.
common sense shit. That's real common sense shit, right?
Facts.
And the teachers that want to do it are more than likely teachers that shoot. So it wouldn't be a hard time saying, oh, they're going to have fun. I'm going to the range on the fucking state. All right, cool. You know what I mean?
They get paid for it.
You're getting paid for it. You don't want the teachers to carry? What about administrator? What about an administrator? You know what I mean? You don't want the administrators to carry? We got a bunch of veterans that's coming home that don't got no jobs, that are already fucking geared and fucking trained to neutralize a target. Why not? These are real solutions.
Yeah.
These are real solutions. You understand? And and people don't want to talk real solutions. They want to talk what looks good on paper. And I've said it before, shit that look good on paper don't always apply in real life applications. You know what I mean? You know, it'd be great if the fucking no guns, gun free zone or the no gun sign worked. I don't know how many fucking times I done walked into Walmart with that fucking no gun sign. I'm like, my daughter looking like, Daddy, say no gun. I said, well, I guess that don't work. Do it. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, stuff, like I said, shit that look like it works on paper doesn't work in real life application. Period. You can't legislate away evil, right? You can't legislate away violence. We're human. It's in our nature, you know? If somebody wake up because his fucking back hurt and he mad at the doctor and he want to go kill that doctor, you know, gun control wasn't going to stop him. You know what I mean? What if you ran up there with a fucking machete and just started slicing people?
Well, this is the fact though. In the U.S., there's last year we had 7,650 something non-firearm murders, homicides in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't remove that 7,650 something victims per year in the U.S.
Right.
with a population of 350 million something people. Just because you're going to ban the weaponry, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
And criminals don't follow laws. That's simple.
That's true. That's true. And I don't know why it's so hard for people to like grasp that, right? So I'm always constantly in arguments with like family members and just random people where they're like, well, if you make it hard for them to get the weapon, then I'm like, but they still gonna get it. Like
Jim Jones got a hold of some Flavor Aid, took out 900 people.
Right. So what you gonna do? Ban Flavor Aid?
What would a weapon ban do to him?
Right. Exactly.
900 people dead, gone.
Right. The fucking Boston Marathon, but they use pressure cooker.
Yeah.
These are fucking these pressure cookers. So what the fuck we gonna ban Rachel Ray's whole fucking line? I don't know if she make pressure cookers. That's the first person that came to my mind. Like, but you get what we saying. You know,
Right.
if people got murder on their mind and they want to kill somebody, they're gonna fucking figure that shit out. You know, that guy could have waited till the doctor came out and just ran him down with his car.
Or just punched him.
Or punched.
Your fist can do some heavy
Yeah.
damage. That guy's head hit the concrete. He's out.
Yeah, baseball bat, golf club, like whatever. You know, and that's the funny part is that blunt force trauma deaths are way higher than rifle deaths. I think blunt force trauma deaths like 2017 was like almost 2,000.
In
I
2017,
think
you said
it
it was
was like 2,000. Like 2,000 blunt force trauma, hands and feet and shit like that. Well, that might have been, no, stabbings was like 2,000. Blunt force trauma was still like 1,200 or some shit like that.
That's like in the UK, right?
Yeah.
In the UK, they got like 695 stabbings last year, deaths or something like that. It was some massive, some massive number,
Right.
because they got strict guns. So they're still running around with like machetes and swords and knives.
Yeah, not to mention the guy that was mowing motherfuckers down with the rental truck over there like a few years back. Like they figured that shit out, man. And they doing knife buybacks in fucking in the UK. I think if I'm not mistaken, you can't have certain knives in your house, right? And people's like,
Right.
oh, but it's the UK, it's a whole country, but that whole country can fit in Texas.
It's illegal to have Rambo looking knives in the UK. Is what they were saying too. So
right. Let me see what we got here. So hey guys, I appreciate all the super chats. I appreciate you guys. If you wanna throw a $1 in the tip jar, I appreciate it. It helps me keep it moving. A lot of this, I foot the bill on everything that I do. Actually, everything that I do, all of my upgrades, all of my equipment and stuff I do on my own. If you want to throw $1 or $2 at me, go for it. I appreciate you. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat though. So let's see. Where we at? Just a check. What's going on? Peace and love to the community. What's going on? We got James. Trust don't work with overtime. Need to get born music when the soundboard. You might be right, yo. You might be right. Ahmad, the event happened. Pray for the families. Now we need to focus on what's to come down the pipe. That's what we were talking about. That's true. Jay and Jax. China told the UN to investigate U.S. mass shootings. Is that right? Of course they did. Did you see fucking Joe Biden posing with the fucking Chinese Beatles or whoever the fuck they was like the other day in the Oval Office?
Right, because I posted about that. I was like, well, we didn't want Ice Cube in there.
Right.
We wanted BTS. Ice Cube said he had some solutions, and we said, nah, get out of here. That Drake meme. No, we don't want that. We want BTS.
Who the fuck is BTS? Are they an actual like band or something? I was just guessing.
Yeah.
Shit.
This like not band. It's the K-pop, Korean pop music.
Oh, I don't even.
And they're the most. So BTS is the most popular, one of the most popular, I think, in the world right now. Korean pop group.
Oh shit! I was just taking a fucking guess. They just look like they're like the Beatles, like the Asian Beatles. I didn't know.
They did dress up like the Beatles because they're getting some Beatles numbers, right? They're really huge.
It's about to be a K-pop takeover in the United States. It was the British invasion, now the K-pop invasion. Oh shit.
Gangnam Style.
Oh shit, that's right. He was K-pop. I didn't know it was like I thought that was a one-off. I didn't know it was an actual thing. That's crazy.
And Korea is a beautiful country. Beautiful.
Now, I did hear some dope-ass Korean trap music one day. That shit was kind of fly. I ain't gonna lie. My cousin put me on to
Yeah, they have a lot of Cassius Cam, you might consider writing for them. I mean, if you look at it, the songwriters, those are actually just Americans and British. The people that write for most of these groups behind the scenes, these are Americans and British people writing for these people.
There you go, Cam. Get that royalty money, bro. Queen D says, all should retire cops on duty out here. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that either. Let me see. He said you got that T-gram chat. That's true, Sauce. Towson do need a police force. Actually, the college does have a police force, if I'm not mistaken. I know the college does. I don't know if GBMC does or the hospital out there. Unless Towson's police department's been disbanded, that'd be interesting to know. But Buffalo, he was vested up. Yeah, he was vested up, but
seems like it's the next move to go after the vest, right?
Yeah. Oh, they've already started. Like when we said it, when we reported on it, like, they coming for the vest next, and that's the crazy part, right? So, some of my friends, they're police officers, right? And I was like, yo, so in that situation, I just wanted to make sure I was correct in this. So he was like, I was like, so in this situation, right? You got a perp with a bulletproof vest on. What y'all do? He said we take headshots or we start shooting out limbs like your pelvis area. He's like, you can't do much damage if you can't fucking walk. You know what I mean? And each officer I asked, I got some friends in Baltimore County, Baltimore City, and other parts of the state, and I asked them, and they was like, Yeah, no, you shoot for the pelvis or you shoot for the head. You know, if you can't hit him to the mask, you gotta neutralize him. He said if you got a good backdrop, you go for headshots. If you don't, you go for the pelvis. You make sure he can't walk. The minute he can't walk, now you got the upper hand. You know, he said even that if you hit him in the chest with the armor on, it's still going to push him back. They said the shit ain't. One of my homies got shot. He said that shit don't feel good. You know, because he was overseas. He's like, it's taking a rifle round to a plate carrier don't feel good at all. It's gonna knock you down. That shit hurts. He said that shit don't make you fucking bullet. It don't make you fucking RoboCop. He said that shit hurts. So you take enough rounds to your vest, you going down. You ain't gonna keep moving. You know, but he said you take headshots or you take limb shots. That's how you stop them. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I just wanted to make sure. Queen D also says, yeah, but how did an 18-year-old get into an elementary school with no problem? I get harassed just to get in. That's true. I told this story before. I took my son, had an accident in school, and I had to take him some clothes up there. And I'm thinking they're going to let me come in and change my son and stuff like that, right? Shorty leaned out the door like I was fucking DoorDash, grabbed the bag and said, thank you, and then shut the door in my face. I was like, oh. But then I was like, you know what? I'm happy that they didn't
That's
just
good.
let me. Yeah, you know.
There's some security.
Right.
There's some people watching out.
Right. You know, and the way my son's school setup is fucking great. Right. So the way it works, and I don't know if this is how the school in Texas was, but the way it works, every classroom has a exit to outside. Right. So let's just say somebody breaches the front door, breaches one of the hallway doors. The kids don't have to run down the hallway to another exit. They just leave out the door of the classroom, the outside door of the classroom, and they can evacuate, which I think is fucking genius. You know, I don't know if they can retrofit a lot of schools to do that, but you know that, and then everything's locked down at my son's school. They got cameras everywhere. They don't let you in until you fucking verify who you are. And then when you verify who you are, you still got to get escorted to the office to still verify who you are before you can get your kid. If you want to get your kid,
they got security measures. That's good.
Yeah, if you want to get your kid from school early, you got to send a fucking email to the teacher ahead of time, letting them know that you coming. They ain't fucking around. They done figured out how to stop the shooters. They done figured out how to stop fucking Amber Alerts. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Shit's crazy.
Yeah, if we got security measures at our banks, but what's more precious than our babies?
Right, exactly. Apparently,
we're trying to protect our cash.
Yeah,
but our future is our children.
Right.
So we got to protect them. We need to have the security.
Got to. You got
at
to.
the schools.
Not to mention,
and if we can send $40 billion over there to the crane, what are we doing over here in the U.S. for the schools?
Right, it's probably a fraction of the cost to fucking create a whole nother for security force in each state for public schools. Like my daughter's school, I drop her off at school. There's 2 officers there. My son has it's always a police officer there. We have school resource officers here in Baltimore City and Baltimore County, which they were thinking about getting rid of until all this shit started happening. Now all of a sudden they're second guessing it now. You know, I just found out from a reliable source that some public schools here in Baltimore County are they hired private security.
Did they?
Yeah. I was shocked.
Wow.
I was like, okay. You know, trying to figure out why you hire private security when you can just get some off-duty officers, to come sit up there and pay them. You know what I mean? But hey, whatever it takes to secure, to keep these kids secure. But that's the issue, people. You got to meet fire with fire, right? You can't meet fire with good intentions. You got to meet fire with fire. They got to know that if they come to that school with intention to do harm to these children, they're going to get put down immediately with prejudice. They got to know that. They got to know that there's no way I'm making it to that fucking front door. Right? It ain't no way I'm going to breach that front door because they going to kill me. Period. You know what I mean? Simple as that. And that's what we got to do. That's how you protect your children. Out here in public, grocery stores and shit like that, armed society is a polite society. Like the video I had a couple of weeks ago that I made with the gentleman from Buffalo. Like he said it perfectly. What would have happened if somebody else was armed in that grocery store? A couple other people were armed in that grocery store. Would the outcome would have been a lot different? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would it have been a lot different? You know what I mean? Like, look what happened in Texas, man. Like, the time they're saying, like, I heard 40 one time, they saying 50, the guy said 70 minutes. Doesn't fucking matter. It was too fucking long. It took an off-duty fucking Border Patrol agent getting a haircut to grab the fucking barber shotgun and go handle business. You know what I mean? He did what they said 40 officers couldn't fucking do.
Mm-mm-mm.
You know what I mean? You got to leave. You got to protect you. You got to protect you. Every time they start talking about gun control, every time they start talking about weapons bans, it's at a detriment to you. Look at fuck. You see what happened? You see what's happening in Canada, yo?
Mm-hmm.
Shit in Canada.
With Trudeau.
That motherfucker, man. He banning handgun sales. He says a freeze, but that just means it's a ban, people. He banning handguns and 9mm ammo. On top of that, he doing a mandatory buyback of quote-unquote assault weapons. A mandatory buyback. That just sounds like an all-out ban on firearms, period.
They had that mass event up there not too long ago that involved vehicles, right?
Yes.
Vehicles running over folks out there.
Yes.
And they were hard pressed to try to fight them back because so many people were unarmed against the person that was in the vehicle anyway.
Right. Let me see what we got here. Super Carlo, I work in the hood. Some of those teachers might be targets. Cops might be targets. Cops there make more sense, but the activists don't want cops in schools. He's got a point. Freak Mac says teachers are so concerned in protecting gender identities. Why can't they actually protect the kids? That's true. You know. Now I've heard a couple of teachers though. I'm just a teacher. Why do I need to carry a gun? Okay, you don't have to. You know, all it takes is one. All it takes is one. You know what I mean? And like I said before, you know, all you got to do is take the attention off the children, put the shooter on defense. Now he's fighting for his life. You know what I mean? And like I said, you train in active shooter drills. You train and conceal and cover. You know what I mean? Clearing the building, owning a part of the building. You know what I mean? And that's what I tell people. Even in your house, you don't want to go looking for the danger. Somebody breaking your house, you don't want to go looking for the danger. Wherever you at, you own that part of the house, and they breach that part of the house, you put them down. You know what I mean? And that's just how it should be. You know, we got to protect these kids, and protecting these kids are not taking away guns from people that are willing to protect the kids. You know, it's putting guns in the hands of more law-abiding citizens that are willing to put their life on the line for their fellow man or the future. You know what I mean? I don't blame those teachers. I don't blame those kids for those parents for running into that school trying to save their children. I don't blame that father who broke the glass window, you know, to get his kid out of his classroom and the rest of those kids. I don't blame. You know, I heard the story of the mother who ran in there and got her kid out of their classroom and then escorted the rest of the kids out too. You know what I mean?
Wow, yeah.
That's like, I don't know any parent who wouldn't do that. You know, that's your child. Remember the story back in the day where they said that the car flipped over and the lady just had all the strength that she fucking picked that car up off her, like, to get her kids out? You know what I mean? Like, that's the shit that happens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can only imagine, you know your kid's in danger in there, and you turn into mama bear or papa bear, and you go in there, you don't give a fuck about the danger. You just want to get your kid. You know what I mean? That adrenaline kick in, right? And you don't give a fuck. You know. Let me see what we got here. Appreciate you, Freak Mac. Hotep tuition, I appreciate you. Bruce G said they banned knives in the UK. That's right. That's what we just said. You know what I mean? Jimmy Doss. They even want to send more of that 40 billy is political. Yep. Exactly what it is. They laundering money, yo. That's all they doing. Castro doing like his daddy did in Cuba. That's true. Queen D. But hospitals shouldn't be an obvious place to kill with retired security on duty. That's true. But a lot of these hospitals don't have, like, they got security, but some of those security guards don't have guns. I've been in a couple of hospitals here in Baltimore where they don't have no guns in that, and like the security guard, they don't have no gun. You know what I mean? They just did a observe and report, call police.
Wow.
You know, which is crazy because they should. There's enough security agencies who they could hire or whatever, or off-duty police officer they could bring in. If you could fucking bring in an off-duty police officer to fucking guard a fucking Fridays on a Friday night, why can't you get a off-duty officer to sit in the hospital for a few hours? You know, they enjoy the overtime. I heard they make upwards of $40 an hour.
Wow.
Just to sit somewhere and make sure shit don't happen. You know what I mean? Off-duty officers would gladly do that shit $45, $50 an hour. Hell yeah. All right, cool. I'll come sitting there. Where my stool at? You got a nice comfortable chair or something? What you need me to do? All right, cool. You know, I'll fucking go sit outside my car, say they don't know I'm here, and some shit happen, I'll run in here and take them out. You know what I mean? It's crazy, you know? But the solution is to fortify these places. They don't have to be looking like fucking Gattaca. They don't gotta be looking like, you know, prisons like fucking Shawshank and nothing like that. You can do this shit discreetly. Metal detectors don't look like metal detectors no more. You know what I mean? Or, you know, like when you walk in the store and they got the, you know, them shits, you can make them all slimline and all that other shit. Make them just fit in with the fucking ambience of the fucking building or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? The fucking casinos do it. Casinos do it. So why can't you? You know what I mean? Why can't you have a control center at a school where the police can go and they can monitor all? You got a police officer in the control room monitoring the fucking the cameras. You got one patrolling the fucking perimeter, and you got one that's just in the school. Why not? Why not? You know what that do? That protects the kids, and that also improves police community. What's it called? Police community. What's it called, yo? Goodwill or whatever you want to call it. Relations, police community relations. It also it improves that. You know why? Because those kids get to know those officers, and they know who they are. The officers know them. You know what I mean? They get a respect for them. Why not? You know? And if you don't want cops in the schools because you defund the police and all that other bullshit, okay, well then how about this? You create another department. You hire, like Queen D say, ex-cops, or you hire some, you know, veterans coming back, and you create a whole new division for school, like we have in Baltimore, school resource officers, SROs. The thing is that the news, they'll sit here and act like this shit isn't already being done. They'll be like, oh my God, it's so absurd. We can't having cops in schools, having metal detectors in schools, like, oh my God, you know what I mean? It's like, no, it's already being done in certain states and certain cities.
Right.
And it's proven that it's working. So why not?
The media wants the fear factor. The media wants to intimidate the citizenry, right? The citizens need to be intimidated. They need to have that fear. They need to have that optic of they're in danger. So, you know, so that they push back, so that they resist. So they're not coming at it like we are, where we're saying this is for security, this is for safety. Mm-hmm. They're coming at it from the point of view that their indoctrination from their TV set is hitting them with the fear factor, and they're in fear.
Right, and they use fear to pass all their laws and legislations that they want. So make no mistake, people, they don't want to protect anything. They just want more control. Right? And like I said yesterday, and I say it all the time, I said it on the spaces that I was on, if I'm not mistaken. Yo, you take away the Second Amendment, the rest of the Constitution falls. You know why? Because there's nothing you can do to fight to keep your rights. You know why? Because you gave them all to the state at that point in time. You know, and people think it don't happen. And then we always have those cases where people think it's, you know, oh, you can't bring that up or whatever. It's like, no, you definitely can bring the shit up. Talking about Germany back in the day. You know, with that boy Dolph. You know what I mean? What happened when you disarmed the citizens? What happened right after that? You know what I mean? You saw what happened. That shit happens. Look at Australia. Look at Australia doing all this shit. They was going door to door, snatching people out their houses, putting them in camps. This is in the 21st century. This happened a few months ago. It might still be happening now. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Think about that.
Something.
They had no recourse. You know why? Because they can't fight the state. You know why they can't fight the state? Because they ain't got shit to fight the state with. You know what I mean? And people are always saying, they don't trust the police, F the police, I don't trust the state, they only want to do this, but you want to give the monopoly on power back to the state.
Which doesn't make any sense.
None.
Then you're backing up the comply or die crowd.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Right?
That's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. The get down or lay down crowd.
Right.
That's what you're doing. You're backing. You're supporting that. Makes no sense.
You're making the police Judge Dredd. Then they have the authority for justice over you.
Mm-hmm.
They're the judge, jury, and executioner on the spot.
Right.
Which is why we're at 1,200 police killings of citizens, U.S. citizens per year now.
Right.
That's way up from in the 80s and in the early 90s too.
That's right. You know what I mean? Like anime said, they got all the money for the vid, but couldn't up the security. No, they don't. They have no intentions on upping the security. They'll never have intentions on upping the security, right? They want. Look at this, Bruce G. They want to arm. They want to arm Ukraine citizens, but unarm us. Why? Because they can control. They want to be able to control us. They know that if they implement all these freedom of speech suppression they're trying to do, all this social credit shit they trying to do, all this red flag shit they trying to do, right? We ain't taking that shit sitting down, laying down. They know people gonna fight back on that. And they know that if that's the case, they know most law enforcement agencies will not fucking enforce that shit because they're not going to sacrifice their officers getting killed trying to go get somebody's guns or trying to go arrest somebody because they said that Joe Biden fucking is dumb as a rock. Right? Because they can do that.
And the elite's kids go to private schools.
Yes.
Let's not forget that.
Let's not forget that.
They're not worried about this because their kids aren't. Look, the elite aren't going to Walmart. The elite aren't going to the local hospital. They got their own private doctors. They got their own private schools. They got their own private security. They got their own private, walled-in buildings with the high community gates.
Yep.
They're not living the same lives as us. But we're sitting back and looking at the powers that be, the American citizenry at least, like they're one of us.
Exactly.
They don't live the same way. They're not thinking the same thoughts. They're on a different bracket.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what the deal is, right? So I just lost my train of thought. Hold on 1 second. But yeah, they want you defenseless. They want you dependent on the state. Right? If you're defenseless and you're dependent on the state, guess what? You're not going to rebel. You're not going to rebel. Bill Cooper told us that in his book. Quiet weapons for silent wars. You control people through fear. You control them through debt. And look at us now. Everybody's scared that something going to happen in these streets. You got people scared that a white man is randomly going to kill them. You got people scared that some shooter randomly going to run up in wherever they at. People can't get no fucking food right now. Gas is through the goddamn roof. Inflation's here. Hyperinflation's around the corner. You know what I mean? Fear and debt. The Great Reset is a thing. And the funny part is that now people are really picking up on this shit. Hotep's been told you though. The Great Reset a thing. And in order to have a Great Reset, you got to crash the system. You got to crash the system. And they crashing the system. And I'm going to say it again like I said yesterday. Beware. I say by the end of July, I think shit going to be down real bad. I'm just saying. I think shit going to be down real bad. Jimmy Dawes, what you say? Big facts. The state controls the police outside that of an elective sheriff. Yeah, police outside of elective sheriffs should not exist. Boom. Queen D. But government officials can still have their own armed security. That's right. Super Carlos says facts, Cannon. If you can't trust the state, No need to give them a monopoly on the fireworks, period. And I say it again. I'm a big proponent of, if the police got that shit and if the military got that shit, I should be able to have that shit too. Period. That's what I think. If the fucking military can have rocket launchers, if the military can have fully automatic Sears in their M4s and stuff like that, right? If the police officers can have fucking I don't know, a fucking tank or whatever the fuck that shit is, they got that armor of it, or be militarized. I should have all that shit too. You know what I mean? And this is the other thing that kind of pisses me off, because now they're pushing this whole weapon of war. They've been pushing it, but they keep saying weapons of war, weapons of mass destruction, right? Yeah. Assault weapons. I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret, right? Every weapon, because it's called a fucking weapon, every weapon's made to kill. Every weapon's made to kill. I don't give a fuck if you got a fucking bolt action hunting rifle. You trying to kill something with that rifle. You trying to take a deer or elk or something. You killing something with that rifle, right? It's made to kill. Every gun is made to kill something. Every gun has a potential to be an assault weapon, given the intent of the user. I said it before in one of my videos. I could crack you over the head with a fucking broomstick. That broomstick is now an assault weapon. I think I said in another video where I said, teach your kids to smack a kid in the head with a fucking textbook if they bullying them. That fucking Macmillan fucking math book is now an assault weapon. So they use that term vaguely, and they use it with this wide sweeping like fucking arm. When they know that anything can be an assault weapon. My fucking truck outside can be an assault weapon. You know what I mean? So don't get caught up in those semantics. My hands and feet can be assault weapons. Period. There's some people out here whose hands are fucking registered deadly weapons. You know what I mean? So don't let them get caught up in that. What I'd advise everybody to do right now, because it looked like they ramping up some shit to try to push some agenda. Like I said, this shit glow in the dark, man. This shit glows in the dark. What up, Papa Hotep? Salute to you, bro. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, I did hear that, Bruce G. We're going to get to that, too. I want to talk to you about that, too, yo. Yes, YV, Legos are assault weapons, especially when your kids leave them on the floor and you step on them shits in the middle of the night and you want to wake them up and whoop that ass because you want to cry.
That hurts a lot.
You know, but guys, it's going to get bad. And anybody in earshot of what I'm saying or this stream, if you're catching the replay or whatever, strap up, arm yourselves, get familiar with handguns, rifles, assault weapons. Jesus, I'm about to be using that shit. Rifles, anything. It doesn't matter. You know, I don't give a fuck if you want to go get a crossbow, air gun. You know, them air guns do some fucking damage, bro. I seen an air gun take out 2 hogs. Shit crazy. Get familiar with that stuff, because I just see things getting worse. You know, protect your family, help protect your community. You know, if you can conceal carry in your state, excuse me, if you can conceal carry in your state, go get it. Make it happen. You know, it's better to need it and not have it than to have it and not need it. You know, Coleon Noir said something one day. I was watching one of his streams a long time ago. Not a stream, but a show a long time ago. Probably 5 or 6 years ago. He said that, yeah, it may be a 1% chance that I need my gun. But when that 1% chance happens, it's 100% that I need it. You know what I mean? So please, guys, I'm telling you, go out there, learn your firearms. There are places everywhere all over the U.S., man, you know, that do classes, fighting pistol, fighting rifle, pistol 101, rifle 101, shotgun classes. You know, shotguns they don't get enough credit. A shotgun, a one-hitter quitter, depending on what you put in it. You know, I don't think a lot of people getting up from a slug. They worry about the AR and the 9mm. You ever see the size of a shotgun slug? Just saying. You ever seen the size of some of that buckshot? You know, just saying. Shit is crazy, man. YV says, have I ever heard of Operation Northwoods? Oh, of course I've heard of Operation Northwoods. YV, let me tell you something. I'm building 7 and over. I'm building 7 and over on my koofiness, on my tenfold koofy. Yes, I have heard of Operation Northwoods. But that's the thing. A lot of people haven't heard of Operation Northwoods. A lot of people don't know that Operation Northwoods was or that day in September may or may not have been a copycat or a variation of Operation Northwoods. If you guys don't know what Operation Northwoods is, this is something I can't talk about on YouTube. That had to be like a Rumble conversation. Matter of fact, we should do that one day. We should just go hard on Rumble one day.
Oh, Lord.
We should go hard on Rumble one day. Yeah, we should go real hard on Rumble one day. And just start talking about all that shit.
I'm trying to get on the airplane, though. Put my koofy down for.
Jimmy Dawes says, and talk to your friends and neighbors. Change people's minds. Take them shooting, yeah. I always will take people and teach safety, yeah. By the end, they want a gun most of the time. That is true. So I got a friend, right? I used to do CrossFit when I was actually in shape, right? My buddy owned a CrossFit gym, and he was talking to me about guns. And he didn't know I owned a bunch of guns. So he was like, oh, shit. He was like, well, look. He's like, because this is back when, like, you know, all this shit started happening, all the lockdowns and shit started happening, right? So he was like, look, I want to bring one in, but my wife, she ain't down for this shit, right? She gonna cuss me out, yo. I was like, I was like, all right, well, look, because he wanted me to take him to the range, and he wanted me to let him shoot some of the guns I had, and he wanted just to see what he wanted to buy, right? So I took an AR, I took the AR 9mm, I took some Glocks and some shit like that, right? So naturally he wanted the AR. It's fucking easy to shoot and is accurate, right? So he was like, I got to talk her into this. I said, all right, well, shit, tomorrow come back here and I'll, you know, let's let her shoot, right? She was completely dead set against guns, right? She shot the AR, right? And immediately she was like, I want one. To the point where she damn near didn't let him get back on the trigger. She took up all the range time damn near. She was like, I want one. I want a pink one. I was like, you do whatever you want with it. Just, you know, so I think they end up getting her one and stuff like that. But yeah, Jimmy right, you know. Even some people, like my wife, she's not big on guns, but she knows how to operate them. She knows how to shoot. And she knows she needs to take action to protect our children if she has to. You know, it's important. Period. I told her that. You know, we got to protect these kids out here. Let's see. Look like Jay froze up. Give me a second, y'all. Fix this thing here.
Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just fixing your picture.
Okay,
this picture.
Okay, let me get a moment to come right back. I'm gonna go get me a drink of water then.
Not a problem. But yeah, so let me see something here. Bear with me for a second, people. But yeah, Jimmy's right. Jimmy Doss is right. You know, you gotta get like-minded individuals. You gotta get people on board with you. You gotta get people that's willing to do good. You know, willing to help the collective. You know what I mean? Trying to fix this picture. Hold on one second. This thing be killing me. That's good enough right now. Excuse me. Like I said yesterday, I got caught a case of the Sarge remix for a few days, so I'm just getting over it. But yeah. Let's see what we got here. Papa Hotep says, also pick up that Behold a Pale Horse by Bill Cooper. Yeah. Definitely a lifesaver in times we're living nowadays. Yes, I read that 10 years ago, man. 12 years ago now. Yes. Honestly, it's tough. I had to go to I went to a bookstore. So I told the story before. I was in school and a guy I was in class with, he was telling me about the book. He said when you go get he said go find this book. He said when you find it, wear a hoodie, don't park in the parking lot. What'd he say? Don't park in the parking lot, pay cash, don't sign up for no book clubs. You go get it, you read it, and you put it away. This was back in like 2010. This book was written in 89 and published in 91. Excuse me. Published in 91, right? I read this book and I was like, okay, well, I can fact check this. I read the book, right? Scared the hell out of me because as I'm reading chapters, I start fact checking shit and I'm like, holy shit. He was spot on in 89 about all of these secret societies, about all of these measures that the redacted was taking and stuff like that. And I was able to look stuff up and things over the years was coming out. And even to this day, that book holds value. So when, like, for example, there's a couple of groups that will remain nameless. We'll keep saying the redacted. There's some redacted groups that were in the shadows for decades that we all of a sudden started hearing about in the news, like as if they were always there in public, right? But he said in his book, if any redacted agency has any news publicity, that means that it's by design. They want it that way. They put it out there to discredit whatever theory it is that's behind it. But he said, guarantee another organization is taking its place in the shadows. It's interesting. We see it all the time. You know, and I've said it a few times. I'll find it and I'll post it on Twitter. I think I did it before, but I'll find it again. There's a chapter in the book where it goes, basically there will come a time where you will be told, again, this is written in 1989. There will come a time when you are told that the biggest threat to the United States are its patriots, the men and women willing to fight for the Constitution. He said that in the book. And now look where we are. I think that was like chapter 6. He was talking about FEMA before any of us knew who the fuck FEMA was. That book, that's hard to find, yo. That's one of the ones you gotta go on a journey for. I know Audible, they redacted some chapters and some more shit. You know, when I did go to the store to get it, it was in the astrology section. It was in the astrology section at Barnes & Noble. Not in the nonfiction or the fiction. It was in the astrology section. So, if the book is still in circulation, I would try that. If you bold, maybe Amazon got a full copy of it. You know what I mean? Maybe there's a full copy on YouTube. Somebody might have. I don't know. It's tough to get that book. You know, I had 2 copies. I gave a copy away to one of my cousins. Hey, Dia Blaze, you still in the building? Yo, tell your brother he got that 1 copy of mine. So if you ain't got it, I'm sure you probably got it though. Your brother got it, yo. But yeah, this shit is crazy, man. But look, guys, they don't want real solutions. They don't want real solutions. Let me bring Jay back in real quick. Bring Jay back in. There we go.
Salute. Am I back?
Yeah, you back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you back.
All right. Got my water ready.
They don't want real solutions.
No, they don't.
They want to use these tragedies, whether they're manufactured or not. They want to use these tragedies to push more of their agenda, to put fear in your heart, for you to let them pass their draconian laws.
Right.
You heard it yesterday or the day before. Joe Biden wants to ban 9mm and he wants to ban certain handguns. And I said this before a year ago. It was one of my first videos, I think. He said he want to ban anything with the ability to hold 10 rounds, more than 10 rounds. That's every goddamn gun, except for a revolver. They even got shotguns that hold more than 10 rounds.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you good.
Baby coming in.
That's how they do. But you know what's going to happen, right? They're going to create what's called a black market. They think that banning this shit is going to stop it. When we do have 3D printers. I said this yesterday.
Right.
You know?
And there's 300 million or more.
400 million almost, because after people started purchasing guns after, you know, the whole pandemonium outbreak.
Yeah.
You know, it's so much more.
It went up.
And
it's so much more. There's no way to get rid of that.
No, not at all. Not at all. And now people got files and shit for printers. What are you gonna do? Ban 3D printers now?
Nah, because then it opens up that whole black market for it.
Yeah.
Then you would know. You would know somebody that's got the printer, right?
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Here you go, I got you."
Mm-hmm.
It's making the situation worse.
Yeah, exactly. Makes the situation worse. Oh, you you need some 9mm? Let me break out my mold.
Yeah.
Start. You know what I mean? You're just creating a black market. That's just what it is.
See the same thing with the drug trade, right?
Yeah. Remember Fast and Furious?
One shop was closed, another one open.
Yeah. Remember Fast and Furious?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Eric Holt.
Like, they don't understand that. You know, actually, they do, and they just want to make people criminals. And then you got the Joe Biden crime bill 2.0.
Right.
Coming soon, people. I guarantee it. It's coming soon, because people are gonna start getting desperate soon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I talked to one of my buddies. He locked up right now. He was telling me, he was like, "Yo, how's shit out there, yo?" He said, "Yo," he's like, "You know, I'm with the commissary and I can't get nothing." He's, "I've been waiting for 2 weeks for noodles."
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm like, "Yo," I said, shit bad out here, yo." I was like, "So I assume it's affecting y'all in there, you know?" What up? MC Lancaster says 3D printer go brrr. Super Carlos said Barrio's still slanging them things. Yeah, he is, to the cartels. Possible connection between the Texas shooter and Fast and Furious? I don't know. The gun they said he used, that came from Daniel Defense. The Daniel Defense thing makes me feel like somebody gave him that. You know, just me. Nerd Nash did have a fucking hell of a thing yesterday where he tried to like, and people using it, I don't know if, you know, it's just a theory or people just thinking it up. Some people are trying to run with it as fact, but it's if whatever happened in Texas had anything to do with like some kind of cartel thing, you know. And I was like, dang, it's cool for you on tight with that one, because, you know, border town, most of the people in the town is, you know, Spanish, and who knows, you know. But just people thinking out loud. You know what I mean? Jimmy Dawes said, work with alcohol.
Yeah, prohibition turned out real well.
Real well. Everybody was healthy as a motherfucker. Water and apple juice. That's all it was.
The bans just make things worse usually, right?
Right.
Goodness.
Yeah, bans make shit worse. It creates a black market, man. Hence Baltimore City. Fuck you think these kids getting these guns from?
You guys are at like 475 shootings or killings or something like that
Probably.
this year.
I
don't know
lost
if you know
count.
what all your your stats was at, because the national news talked about a little bit, saying that Baltimore was the crime rate is higher than just your city, higher than some whole countries.
Yeah,
like it's higher than the murder and homicide and all that. And
yeah,
stuff is just higher than some countries out there.
per capita, most dangerous city in the United States. You know, because we're such a small city.
Now, you talk about the vest that you got, right?
Yeah.
So for I looked it up before. The rich actually have T-shirts that are vests that look like T-shirts. Look just like they have dress shirts that are vests.
Yeah.
And those sell for like $2,000, $5,000 up.
Yeah, it's that dragon skin shit. Like people laugh, but that shit real. Like they do have that type of shit. I can't afford it. The vest that I got was $700. You know what I mean? And I had to save up for that shit. My plate carrier back here that y'all can't see because of the fucking chat, but that shit was like $500 for my level 3 plate carrier to stop some AR and some fucking AK rounds. You know what I mean?
So if the powers that be go after the vest, then would they leave the shirt business alone then with the shirt vests and stuff like that? With the bulletproof vest?
They can't tell there's no serial numbers in these vests. That's the funny part. The only thing it would do is force everybody to go buy one before they ban the shit. And then whoever got it.
Just like the Beanie Babies craze. They told everybody that the Beanie Babies are retired and not coming back, so everyone rushed out to buy 1 million apiece.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Oh, never mind, we were playing. They're coming back next year."
Right.
And then everyone was stuck with the Beanie Babies.
See, that's the thing, right? So a lot of the shit they trying to do is unconstitutional. These executive orders that he's trying to pass, and the one coming through this month, they're unconstitutional. They're going to be sued. They are being sued, and I'm sure that they'll be overturned, right? But you got people who are going to comply with that, and then once it's overturned, then it's like, we got a bunch of people to comply with it anyway. You know what I mean? And look what when they try to do the mandatory jabbies, the mandatory yammings.
Now we're looking at lawsuits, right?
Yeah.
It's coming up in different states, different spots. They're saying, okay, so-and-so got injured, or okay, I lost my job. And we're seeing that.
Because you got people that was like, well, it's the law. You got to get it. And then they changed the law because it was unconstitutional. But now how many people got it, though? So they'll enforce some shit. They'll put some shit on the books that they can't do, like DACA, right?
And Obamacare.
And Obamacare shit that they're supposed to get voted on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like DACA, and then they'll implement the shit and let it go until it gets overruled. But by the time it go through court and all that other shit, it's already done the damage it was supposed to do.
Right.
So like I'm saying, guys, please go out there and get yourself strapped up. I don't care what you get something. Protect your family. My biggest fear is coming home and my family stretched out, yo. That's my biggest fear. Well, my biggest fear is being home and can't do shit about it. You know what I mean? Protect your people. If you can get concealed carry in your state, get the concealed carry. If you can open carry already, fucking open carry. I don't give it. Just make sure you protect yourself and your family.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Stay vigilant. Stay spiritually prepared.
Yes.
Stay prayed up.
Yep.
And and use your intuition. If you don't feel like something's right, go with that. If you go into somewhere and you be like, hey, me and the kids want to go out to such and such park tonight, feels like something's not right. Go with that.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, oh, okay, come on, and ignore it, and then something goes down.
That's right.
Stay prepared. Stay prepared mentally, spiritually, and physically.
All right. MC Lancaster, what you right, MC? If you ain't got a whole lot of money, High Point ain't a bad option. They didn't got better. Now before they used to call them liquor store guns, right?
Yeah. Back in the day, right?
Yeah, they used to call them liquor store guns.
Zippies and all that different stuff they had back in the day.
Yeah, but them High Points, right? They got better. They not too bad. If you don't got a whole lot of money, you can grab a High Point for like $250. It's a 9mm, base a little single stack, if I'm not mistaken. It'll do what it need to do, huh?
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say what some of the 22 caliber. I was just asking a question about it. Like they have some of those like that too.
I don't know if High Point got a 22.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I trust that 22. The 9mm might be alright.
It's just gonna scare them away, right? Basically, if you tag them up with that, it's
Oh no! If you
it's
tag a
not
motherfucker with a 20, I'm sure it hurt. Now,
right.
now for example, right? This is a 22. All right.
Okay, yeah.
So comes with a 25 round magazine. All right, it's my daughter's. All you gotta do is put it in, boom, and this shit has no recoil. All you gotta do is pull that trigger 25 fucking times at somebody, real fucking fast, cause there's no recoil on it. It feel like a fucking BB gun, right?
Wow.
I'm sure she'll probably put them down. They may not die here, but they going to die somewhere else.
And you're gonna be doing the training, right, for the Hotep Con?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be doing the training.
Okay.
So right now I'm looking for oh yeah, guys, I should have been did that. Listen, you coming out?
Not able to.
Oh man,
I don't have my funds up yet.
I feel you.
I need to get my funds up. Plus, we have the house sales coming up in Oklahoma. For you guys that are in Oklahoma, we have the house sales coming up in June, and I'm trying to save back a little bit for that to see if I can purchase another house, because the homes out here for tax sales are very low cost.
You
might be
that
putting
thing.
in
That shit was
$1,000
crazy.
to buy. You might be putting in $1,000, $2,000 to buy a home. Now they are fixer upper homes, but that you get busy with some of them, you'll be all right. And there was a house that I was looking at over there that's in my mom's neighborhood. I had owned 5 homes, but I sold one last year because I wasn't able to go fix it up.
No, I feel you. Shit, get that shit now, because get that money while you can. So let me get this shit set up right now.
Hopefully next year I'll be able to come out. That'd be nice.
Yeah, yo, it's always a good time. So what we're talking about, people. Sorry about that. August 11th through the 13th, Hotep Con is happening in Vegas at the Ahern Hotel. Last year was lit. It was fire. We had a hell of a good time. Good food, good people, fun, just a fucking blast. So again, this is August the 11th through the 13th, the Ahern Hotel. I messed up the segue, so here go again. It was a fantastic time, guys. I mean, you guys don't understand. We had a celebrity chef. Yo, they was putting together flavors that I ain't never tasted before, bro.
Good,
I had spicy waffles.
What?
I don't even know how to fucking. I wanted to take them back. Like I wanted to like. I wanted to pack up. I wanted to do some hood shit and pack up a bunch of waffles, take them back to my room. Yo, I never have no waffles that tasted that good in my life. Chicken and waffles one morning. The chicken it wasn't fried. It was I don't know what they did, man. It was amazing. Homemade like gelato and pizza and pastas. It was crazy. It was fantastic. The food, the steaks, filet mignon and stuff like that.
How's that?
We was able to do a podcast from the hotel. The hotel got a podcast area, bro. Fantastic. That's what we shot our What is Hotep? Olivia Ron
documentary.
Yeah,
spot, right?
Olivia Rondeau was there. Patriot J came through and did a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was fantastic. It was a hell of a good time. So I'm telling you guys, last year was our first time. So I'm telling you guys, get your tickets now. Go to hotepnation.com. Get your tickets right now. Book it. Get your flight right now while you can. While you can. Hopefully flights don't go up. And come join us, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun this year. We're gonna have Hotep's Been Told You live like we did last year. This year, I'm going to be teaching a class on firearms and firearm safety. We're gonna head over to one of the ranges in Vegas, and we're gonna have a good time. You know, not to mention we right there off the strip. So you know, when you during downtime, you want to go lose your money at one of the casinos, go do it. You know, go have some fun.
Man.
You know what I mean?
I rank up on those slots. I'm pretty good at those.
I used to work in the I used to build slot machines, so I kind of know what's what.
Go hit something good. But that presentation was beautiful. Shout out to whoever made that.
Shout out to my man Hotep T-Rex did that, yo. He a beast with it.
Hotep T-Rex.
Yeah,
Shout out to you. Salute. That was a beautiful presentation. It looked really great.
Yeah, it was awesome,
I seen
man.
it earlier, and I was like, I text Cannon, and I was like, boy, that's nice.
Yeah, that's the Hotep T-Rex did that. He the man. That's who did our documentary and all that other stuff. That's who did the original intro that I had when I do my one-off videos. He did that for me. You know,
that's beautiful.
Stuff like that. So shout out to Hotep T-Rex, man. But yeah, so anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap it up right here. But I'm gonna end it by saying this: the redacted and the powers that be aren't worried about you. They're not worried about your children. They don't give a shit about you. All they care about is getting their agenda done. All they care about is their power. They're not worried about trying to save you. They're not worried about trying to protect you. That's up to you. So you protect you and yours however you see fit. Remember that. That's words to live by. So for Jay Pylon, this is Cannon Hotep saying, stay safe, stay well, stay strapped. Protect your chicken, people. I holla at you.